welcome to the big program. We got a new show for you this week, and it is football playoff time. So football spin today. One of the state's best running backs is sitting right here in the chair with us, and that is the Sandia Matadors, Malachi Tymes. Malachi, welcome to the program, man.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to finally have you. I know we've been trying for a little bit, right? And first thing right off the bat, obviously, is you had to hobble up the stairs here because
Yeah.
a season-ending injury, right? So tell us about that.
So it happened in the second quarter whenever I was getting the punt return. I planted in my knee, it just popped, and I dropped, I just straight dropped. And I knew after I wasn't going to be able to get back up.
So non-contact then, right?
No.
So what goes through your mind when you kind of you can hear the pop, and then you add to the fact that it's the last game of the season, you're a senior. What's going through your mind when you're laying on the ground there?
I had a lot going through my mind because it was my last game, and then I wanted to help the team win, and I felt like I was going to let them down because I was going out. But they still got the win, so.
And talk about your season, man. Obviously the team goals, not what you wanted, right? You guys are not in the playoffs. However, individually, you came out of the gates in game one and you never stopped. So, talk about that, just your season as an individual.
I surprised myself, too, with the first game. I didn't think I was going to, do that good on the first game. And, I just kept, the same pace the whole season, so.
Did you, that first game, did you realize how many yards you had? Did you kind of realize in your mind, okay, that's not one touch, two touch?
No, I didn't.
What's going on there, man? That's a good season for some running backs, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't realize till after, I had that much yards until James came up and told me how much yards I had.
Right. And then, Sandia is a place that's been around forever, right? So and some good running backs have played there. So when you start talking about running back records at Sandia, especially at Sandia, when they used to just run the hell out of the ball, right? Especially when Coach Ottman was there. When you start breaking rushing records at Sandia, that's pretty special because the history there is pretty rich.
Yeah. I went and looked at the record board, and there was, a lot of high records.
Did you have to dust it off first? Was it dusty?
Yeah. A lot of them are old, 2010s,
right?
2000s. Yeah.
That's pretty cool at a place like that has such a rich history. And then, so week one, you're in the zone. Do you think, okay, this is going to be like this all season? Or what are your thoughts after week one? Because that's probably the performance of the season by any individual player. Yeah. It's hard to top week one, right?
Yeah.
So what's going through your mind then?
I was just trying to hope that I could, keep it up, not get as much, but keep it going, keep getting steady yards and keep scoring.
Right.
Not just go down.
I remember, do a little weekly radio appearance with Jeff Simbieta, and we talk about football. And I remember talking to Jeff in week one, and I remember on the program saying, I thought he was going to carry it a lot before the season started. After week one, I told Jeff, I was like, they might kill this kid. He might run it 50 times a game. Did you knew that was going to be the game plan? You had to know that, man, I'm going to carry the ball a lot this year.
Yeah, after that one, I knew they were gonna want to give it to me. They had to talk to me. They're gonna have to give it to you a couple more times. I'm gonna have to be able to do it. I told them I could carry the workload.
So what is that takes me to my next question. What is your post-game routine? Because I'm tired after a round of golf. I can't imagine the amount of ice, the amount of recovery. What's your post-game routine? Because you take us a beating every week.
After the game, I usually just go home. I ice a little bit depending what's hurting, and then I just usually go to bed. I feel it all in the morning when I wake up. I'm stiff,
okay.
My whole body hurts.
No extensive ice after, really, just normal.
No, after a couple days, I'm good to go again.
Enjoy it while you're young, my man. Enjoy that while you're young.
Yeah.
All right, what game did you feel the most pain and discomfort the next morning?
I would say that Atrisco game. I don't think no one knows, but the Atrisco game, I sprained my collarbone and my JC joint.
That sounds pretty painful.
Yeah. I got smushed whenever I landed. It was in the third quarter, and I still played. And after that one, I couldn't lift my shoulder or nothing. It just felt dead.
Right. And what's the team that when you go into the season and you see your schedule, what's the one team that you're man, that you're gonna feel it? What's the team that you kind of know as an opponent? They hit hard. This is gonna be a rough night.
I'll say Volcano. They've been like that the past couple of years. They have a good defense, a really good defense.
Right. And then now let's go the other way. What's the one team when you see them on the schedule, you're ooh, I'll drive them to the stadium. Let's go. Come on, give us a good one.
I don't know. There's a couple of teams. I don't know. I don't really have like a team.
Okay.
Yeah, like that I could say.
Because I'm a Del Norte guy, right? So I'm a proud Knight,
Yeah.
But I have to imagine like when you got a team like that on the schedule, someone like you is just like salivating. Right? There's got to be that one team. Like, let me make sure these guys get to the stadium because I can't wait to go out tonight.
I say like Monzano or something.
Okay. All
Or
right,
Eldo, because like they're rivals.
Okay, so the rivalries, right? So take us into those rivalries. The rivalries in that district are pretty cool, right? I mean, obviously, you guys have La Cueva, you got El Dorado, you got Monzano, all very natural rivalries. Talk about that.
I feel like we had the strongest rivalry with La Cueva because our freshman year we played each other, and it's like all the same players now playing, and it was just like that game was really intense, and like it was like that the last time we played them. This past last week or the week before.
What's going to stand out to you the most as far as rival games? Like, what's the one memory that you have out of those rival games?
Just like how the environment was and everyone was just like so like excited and then like everything was just going like crazy around you.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, does rivalry week still like hold the same weight? Because like, I don't know, when Josh and I were going to school at Del Norte, like rivalries were real. Like we didn't like those guys. Like there's some shady stuff that went on during the week that some of which may or may not have been, like totally copacetic, right? Like we're talking some semi-vandalism and things like that. Like does any like weird, cool, crazy stuff like that still happen in rivalries, or are you pretty much all just boys?
Sometimes, I think it was last year we had La Cueva come and like spray paint on our stuff.
See, that's the good stuff, right? Like I shouldn't condone that, and I'm not condoning it anyway, but that's what rivalries are about, man. Like, I can remember those in high school. Like, those are rivalry weeks. Like, that's what's supposed to happen. There's eggs, shaving cream, those things make an appearance, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that does still happen, right?
Yeah, it does.
All right, so we're not too old. All right, good. All right, we're just getting started with Malachi Tymes. We'll be right back with more.
Set up. Crane almost gets the kill out of it, and then it goes in just over the net. Couldn't high point that ball.
Pius with some real estate. Montoya, there she goes. She's going to get a shot on the goal. Montoya, it's good. First goal of the game is the senior, Natasha Montoya, for her 20th goal of the season.
Need an end zone pass here. This one's going to be just short of the end zone. Wrestle for the ball. No signal, and Wallen comes away with it. Interception for Nathaniel Wallen.
Though pushed over. Meyer finds it. Baker. Here's Vance with viciousness.
Good save by Ruiz. Scooped over by Elbow. Trinity Carpenter finishes the set. So the Huskies take set number 1, 25-17.
Sophomore quarterback, that might be in their favor.
Ariano looking for the bomb. A little bit of separation. It's underthrown, and he catches it. Oh, what a...
26-25, and that's an ace. And that's set number 3 going to Cibola, 27-25. Stella Parker, she pushes it forward. Myers there, Baker, Vance, done. Vance with the victory shot, and Rio Rancho wins 3-2.
Ariano, there's Alfred back out there. And Pasket Bell, ring that bell. Elliott is in for the touchdown. Wow, is he special. glad you came around.
He is.
I wonder who convinced you. That is complete, and then a great move, and he is in. Touchdown, Aiden Cardiel. Back with Sandia Matador, Malachi Tymes, who just had a monstrous season this year. So what's next?
I'm hoping after this injury I could recover, maybe get into the track season or wrestling season if I get recovered soon enough.
What's best case scenario, worst case scenario with the knee?
Best case is if nothing's like torn or nothing, I could get back in a couple weeks to a month. But if something is torn, I gotta just give it time, let it heal, rehab.
And football at the next level, obviously that's your goal, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
I'm trying to go play college ball. It doesn't really matter like where I play. I just want to like be a part of a college team and like be a part of that.
Now, I had a chance to interview you, about 3 years ago, probably preseason, right? We do a little previews. Like you bulked up a lot since then. so take us through that. What's your routine during the off season? How did you get bigger and stronger and faster? All those, all those expressions. How does it? Because I don't think people see the work that you put in, right? So talk about that.
During the off season, I just like really ate a lot. Cause I was like that year I was like probably 140. Now I'm 165 or 170. And I just really ate a lot, worked out, like did some training. I got my speed and everything up. But like that's really all I did. It was just a lot of hard work.
Right.
Everyone didn't see.
Now, one of the hardest guys to get down in the city, right? Like I see guys they can't get you down, right? It takes 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. How is that developed? Obviously, that's weight room, right? So what do you do in the weight room in that regard to make sure that you're hard to take down?
Just like a lot of leg workouts, like to keep the legs like moving, like the shed, like the sleds and stuff.
What does a leg day for Malachi Tymes look like?
A lot of squats, a lot of leg work, a lot running, like the bag pulling. There's a lot.
Right. And obviously outside of the weight room, like a lot more than that goes into it, right? So just talk about your development as a player, not the weight room, but everything else, whether it's film, whether it's individual development with coaches, like what has helped you become better?
What's helped me is like I go back and like I'll look at my film and see like what I need to like look at, like if I'm reading the hole right. Like I just go back and look and study myself, and I study my opponents and see how they are. And like that's really all I do. Like, and then I go with the coaches and we get like a game plan for me on how I need to fix that.
Right. And so football at the next level, college, obviously there's a few options here in state, right? So take us through those. What are you kind of looking at? What are you looking at right now?
I don't have any offers right now, but I'm willing to play like at any college here, out of state. So like it don't really matter.
Right. Well, we on Proview Networks here, we broadcast Western and Highlands, and I'm Coach Hudson, Highlands, if you're watching, guy's a stud right here. And I noticed you have been struggling to score the football up at Highlands, and Western I don't think is doing much winning. So give my man a call here. What's the process like? Support system with your parents, Coach Adcox. How are they getting you ready for the next level? Take us through that. Because it's got to be a bummer that senior year, no offer yet. But you're going to keep working. I know you. So what's the support system like? What have they told you?
They're just telling me to like get all my films together, like start like looking for colleges I want to go to, and like start talking to the coaches and everything, and just like try to get into like just like be able to talk to them and stuff. But like they help me a lot. Like they're gonna help me talk to the coaches. I have my AD helping me.
Right.
Yeah, I have a couple people helping me.
Does your AD ever talk about how he was a professional kicker?
Yeah, he always does.
Do you take that seriously at all?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
He would love to hear you say that. He really was. Yeah, he was a professional kicker, but he doesn't do it anymore because he retired. Done. Yeah. He went to a tryout. It's over. Does he ever talk about that?
No, he doesn't talk about that.
No. His family used to sit right by our broadcast booth. If you could just imagine an entire family there to see the kicker, that was Coach Weems' situation there with the Gladiators. All right, let's one more thing before we move on. Academically, how do you balance that, academics and athletics? Especially at Sandia. Like, Sandia's not like known for being an easy academic place.
Yeah, it's really just like school and work first. Our coach makes sure that we do our work first. Like, if we need to like in the morning we have our 0 hour or first period. If we need to do work, we do work there. Like, they help us, but they help us a lot with doing our work.
Right. And how did COVID affect you? Because everyone was affected differently, right? Yeah. Whether that be on the field, workouts, team chemistry, academics. I think that's the part that no one talks about. Like, COVID really like messed some people up as far as the academics, right? So how did it affect you?
I'd say a little bit in academics and like in my like workout and stuff, because I wasn't able to work out for like a couple months, so it sent me back. I gained like a couple pounds and everything. And like academics, like we were just doing everything online, so like we were just like speeding through it, like we weren't really learning. And
then you're back on campus. It's like, oh, okay,
and now
it's just got real again.
Yeah,
so I mean, how hard of an adjustment was that?
It wasn't like that hard with the face mask and everything. It was because like everyone just wore one. And
that had to suck, right? Sick. Like, I mean, how that just day to day at school, and then then there was all kinds of restrictions with practice and everything. Yeah. Like, how did you guys kind of work through that? Or did you just wear the chin strap mask?
No, we all had like, they got us face masks that you like put like on your face and like they stay on. And he just made sure we had them on.
Like football's not one of those things that like you can practice individually. Like basketball, right? Mm-hmm. Basketball, I mean, you can do a lot of things, right? Baseball, you can hit in a cage, right, with one other guy. But I mean, football, other than individual stuff, that has to affect the team a lot more. I would imagine COVID affected football more than other sports. Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think?
I think you're right, because like it kept everyone away from each other, so they weren't building like that team bond, and like they weren't able to practice together.
And how important is that? I mean, how is chemistry? Like, you've been there 4 years. Like, you're the guy. How have you seen chemistry change from year to year, and why is it important?
It's good because like it's like it helps everyone be together, so that they can trust each other like on the field and off the field. Like, they don't have to worry about them getting their job done. Right. Like, so they'll do it.
Is it easy at a place like Sandia because everyone knows, okay, give Malachi the ball? I mean, come on. I can figure that out, right? Like, yeah. But I mean, it does take time to develop, right? Like, and how does that happen? Like, over the summer, off season? How do you guys develop chemistry?
Like over the summer, like we'll hang out after practice. Like we hang out like a lot, like during school or something. Like we'll go grab food after the practice or after the games.
Right. Now, I hear you guys are all gamers too, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll talk to Malachi about that when we get back.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of Proview Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics. Rudy's is a proud supporter of Proview Networks.
Back with Sandia Matador, Malachi Tymes. We're talking about football, and let's shift off the field a little bit. What are you doing away from the field?
Right now I'm in I just chill at home. I don't really do nothing. I take this time to relax because I do sports year round.
Right.
So I just take this time to relax.
And how is that? I mean, now we're gonna get back into sports, I guess. But I mean, how is that? Because there's no break, right? When you just bounce between football and wrestling and track. I mean, how is that on the mind and how is it on the body?
On the body, it's pretty rough because you're switching the whole routine and everything. So you got to get your body used to it, and your mind it's a whole different sport. So you're not in football mode no more. You're in wrestling mode or track mode.
So what's the difference between football mode and wrestling mode and track mode? Mentally.
Football mode, it's more of a just get there and get the job done and do good for your teammates.
Okay. And then wrestling mode?
It's more of a yourself, it's on you to win the match. And I guess the same thing with track, it's on you. So you don't have to worry about anyone else but yourself.
So you have a preference or
no, not really. I don't really have a preference.
Okay. All right. You're a gamer a little bit, right?
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about that. What games? What do you guys?
I play Call of Duty, Apex, stuff like that.
And that's pretty you guys do that a lot, right? A lot of the guys at Sandy are into that, right?
Yeah, they play a lot of games.
All right. So who else is? Are you any good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Okay. What's the best game
Call of Duty, I say.
Because you're good at Call. All right. Call of Duty's your good. All right. Who else is good at Call of Duty?
I'd say probably Dalen's pretty good.
Okay.
Some of the other players on the team. I don't think they're better than me though.
What if you needed a win, a guarantee? Let's say you're having a
guaranteed
day, win. Maybe practice was a little rough. Maybe you didn't do great on this test, and you needed just someone that you're just gonna beat down, right?
Yeah.
Who's the go-to that you're gonna just mop the floor with at Call of Duty?
My friend Gage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so has he ever beat you?
No.
No,
Never. He gets mad because I beat him. So
if there was a Sandia Athletics order, of the best gamers, what would that look like? Who's the go-to? Is it you? Are you king of the mountain yet?
I'm not up there, but I say this kid Mason.
Okay.
He plays a lot of games.
Big basketball Mason?
No.
Okay, all right.
He's on the football team.
Okay, and who else? Who else is just really solid?
I don't really know. They all play different games.
Right. What else are the popular games right now that are out? You can tell that this is not my arena. So.
UFC or games like that.
All
they made a new Call of Duty, Modern Warfare.
Right. Yeah. Well, all right. When you hear about a guy like Kyler Murray, who apparently plays a little too much Call of Duty and doesn't read the playbook, I mean, what do you think about that when that kind of came out, right? That they even thought about putting it in his contract, hey, bro, you're the quarterback. Can't be playing Call of Duty all the time. What did you think when you heard that?
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny because, he was more playing the game and not, worrying about his plays. But
right.
He still knew what he was doing.
So, I mean, do you think that was do you think they really needed to put that in his contract? Was it that bad? Have you ever seen that in high school, where someone's just constantly just gaming and you're like, hey bro, we got practice, let's go.
No.
All right. So no Kyler Murray's at Sandia.
No.
Okay, well that's good. and they were giving him the business too, right? So they had a game that night when the new game came out, right? And so opponents were talking about it and everything. So that's got to be a real thing for him then.
Yeah, they're probably talking crap to him about
right.
it.
All right, I want to get back to this college thing one more time. We talked a little bit about Western and Highlands, and then obviously the team we left out was NIMI, right? How cool is it to see NIMI just while you were at Sandia, they win a national championship, right, with some of local kids that you probably played with and grew up with?
I think it was cool that they won. They won with my cousin. He is their Nas.
Right.
I think you know him, but yeah, I think it was cool that they won, in the whole thing.
Right. I mean, and then you see a guy like Diego playing quarterback for the Aggies, and you see, okay, you know what? He took a route that was probably different, right? But he stopped at NIMI. Now he's playing D1. That's got to be very encouraging for you guys. Where's your mindset at as a high school player in New Mexico, knowing that there's more than one avenue to get to where you want to go, right?
Mm-hmm. I think that you could just, if you really want to do it, you could go your way, and you could still make it to a D1. through like a JUCO or a D3 or D2.
Right. All right. Playoffs are around the corner. Obviously, you much rather would be getting ready for a game right now than being here with me. But let's put your analyst hat on. We'll let you kind of. Who's a team that you think? Let's take the top 4 teams. Out of those top 4 teams, which of the top 4 teams do you think could possibly lose in the quarterfinals or earlier?
Quarter.
I mean, which team would it not surprise you that if they lost?
Who was it?
So you got Cleveland. You got Hobbs, and you got Centennial. Out of those 4, you wake up the next morning and you hear that they lost. Which one wouldn't surprise you?
Probably Hobbs.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that a northern bias thing, right? Because no one knows what they're doing
Yeah,
down there?
probably.
A little bit. All right. So when you're not watching film and you're not, watching your guys, whose game are you watching in town? Then you're like, okay, that guy's got game. Like, obviously, you got to see some guys, right, that you think are pretty good. Who should we be watching in the playoffs right now?
Basketball. He surprised me when we played him. He's really good, and I don't know the Centennial running back's name.
Right,
Micah, I think he's really good.
Right.
There's a couple of players. Nick from
Right.
over there at Cleveland. Yeah, I think they should all do pretty good.
Right.
Though.
Now, is it one of those things where, like, okay, my team's eliminated and I don't care? Like, are you going to be watching the games?
Yeah, I'm
still
done.
I'm done with that. Because I've heard that. When guys get eliminated, they're like, oh, I'm not going to the next game. Like, my team, Or you just, what's your mindset on that?
I'm going to watch. I want to see who wins it all.
Right.
I think I think everyone has like an equal chance to win it this year.
Right. But if you had to pick a winner, Malachi Tymes thinks that the champions are going to be
Volcano.
Oh, an upset. The Volcano Vista Hawks.
Yeah.
Interesting. That would be pretty cool if they could finally get it done, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I really appreciate you coming in. Hopefully you hear really good news when you check out that knee, and continued success. Thank you for coming, and thank you for watching, everybody. Good night.